Hey y'all, Monk Joseph here with the Broken Buddha. I want to talk about a fun and serious topic today, and that's going to be bare knuckle MMA and MMA are a joke to someone like myself and to a few others. Let me explain why though. I won't get into how MMA was designed for ground fighters in the beginning of the UFC. You can go back, watch other videos for that. I'll get into that some other time. I want to keep this really short and to the point. So anyone who knows me or watches this channel knows that I've been trying to get into bare knuckle fighting for a while now, to the tune of since about February. And I mean just emails, applications, whatever I can. And this is what I ended up with. I printed out one of the emails that I sent to both the BKFC and Gamebred bare knuckle MMA because I was trying my best to get in just to see what I had to do my kung fu in the ring. And here's what I got. I'm not going to read the bottom. There was like a personal aspect with me and them, but you'll get the idea. And I'm not gonna speak their names. We'll just say number one and number two. Okay. So here's the email. To whom it may concern, this is my third time emailing Gamebred BKMMA, and this will be my fourth time emailing BKFC. I'm not going to waste too much time here. Number one, you will probably never respond, which is beyond unprofessional. My offer still stands if you decide that Gamebred is interested in a Kung Fu fighter. Obviously, number two would have first pick since he at least knows how to respond to an email. Number two, I don't know if you saw my other emails. Nothing I sent you was cryptic. But if you need help processing the information typed in those emails, I can help you. To both of you, I don't understand what the hangup is. You provide the waiver, then I fight. All I asked was to use all hand forms without any wraps. This is not a complex request, but you both seem to be having a hard time with it. I just wanted to make sure that I could fight the way I am trained. I am trying to solve this before I spend thousands of dollars preparing and train for thousands of hours. I honestly think you're both just punks or lazy. Maybe the days of sign a waiver and fight are over, but that would be the antithesis of what both of these companies stand for. I can tell you personally that MMA nor boxing has ever seen what Kung Fu can bring to the fight. Only one guy fought in the 90s and he was known as a sub-tier fighter. I was hoping to change this, but maybe it's just not my fate. That's all I got. I won't be contacting either of you further. If you change your minds before I solidify my next phase in life, then you know how to get a hold of me. Thank you for your time. Peace and blessings. Sincerely, Joseph, blah, blah. I'm not going to say my last name for whatever reason. But there you have it. So personally, I think modern MMA and bare knuckle fighting is a joke because I tried to get in. It is not ultimate. You're not seeing the best of the best. You're not seeing the best styles. They're not going to let it happen. Hopefully, and maybe I'll get in there before I get too old. But if not, I mean, yeah, it could come up in the next, I'll be 42 this month, guys. I'm not going to be, 50 years old doing this stuff. I mean, it depends on what's going on at the time, but for the most part, I'm not going to be trying to do these things my whole life. I'm running out of time to do these things and they're not responding. So when you're wondering like, wow, why don't we see Kung Fu? It's not that it's not real. They won't even they started to respond to me at BKFC, but stopped as soon as, and that's what I said about the emails thing in there. Cause the guy from BKFC was like, first I sent a very clear explanation. Hey, can I use all hand forms and do I have to wear wraps and gloves for tryouts? Nothing. And eventually he was like, I sent a more complex email explaining it further. And he was like, I don't understand what you're asking. What are you asking? So then I asked in like 2 or 3 sentences, can I use all hand forms? Do I need to wear gloves to apply? Nothing. And I've been sending the guy in Gamebred MMA stuff since February, sending him both stuff since February, trying to figure this out. So I've been at this for 7 months now, not nonstop, but giving them space, knocking on the door, giving them space, knocking on the door. I'm not doing it no more, right? I've reached out 7 times now just to ask one question, because I know if I go there and I start using all the hand forms, they're going to DQ me. And even with all the hand forms, I'm probably going to get DQ'd at some point because I'm not wired to pull everything. I'm going to pull, like, if I see a lethal strike that I know is going to kill somebody, obviously I'm going to pull it because those moves typically aren't allowed in the ring. So I'm gonna be at a disadvantage no matter what I do. But there you guys have it, all right? I can't speak for everybody in the arts, but as far as, when you want to know why you haven't seen me in the ring, I tried. They won't let me in and or won't respond to my inquiries. But I have sent in a full application to BKFC. I've sent, I put it in that letter. It's like the 3rd or 4th email to Gamebred. It's the 3rd or 4th email to BKFC. So they're either just looking for that easy money by getting fighters to convert venues, or they know what us traditional guys can and will do, and it's a liability. I agree, it's a liability. I thought that I don't know how much they're aware of it being a liability. I see it as a liability because they're going to try to call me out, like, go ahead, sign your waiver, get in the ring. But then what if somebody dies because you didn't know that that move could do that? Is that my fault, or is that your fault for not knowing and not having the rules set up? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so there you guys have it. All right, I tried. I'm almost done. I mean, I guess if they caught me by the end of the year or maybe by February, I'd consider it. But I got to put in 3 to 6 months of specialized training just for those types of competitions. And I know that the people in Kung Fu and that I know nationally and internationally would back me up in my training. But I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do something like that. So I just want to let you guys know that, yeah, I think the BKFC at this point, I think it's a joke because I couldn't get in there and do my style of boxing with no feet. You don't need feet to do Wing Chun or Mantis or White Crane or any of that. So or even I do know some American boxing, and you're going to see it all come out fluidly and what's the word, eclectically, as a fighter should be able to present those things. But it's just not going to happen, I don't think, guys. Not in our lifetime. And I really fought, and I did send some nice emails. Some of the emails were nice. Hey guys, I really want to do this thing. Let me know if we can work together. But then there's other ones where I'm like, you guys are punks and lazy, and it is what it is. But that email was sent a month ago, and I'm not going to get a response unless somebody sees this or blows it up that I'm trying to get in and that they're not letting me in. Unless the world realizes that the UFC and BKFC are all a show. It's an entertainment show. I'm not saying they're not real fighters. I'm not saying they're not really trained or not really boxers, but it's a show. You're not seeing the ultimate fighter in there. I can't get in there. I'm like an intermediate level fighter. If you want my honest opinion, world scale wise, yeah, I'm like intermediate level. I'm like just your run of the mill average. But if you saw me in a ring doing things that people don't know that don't know are coming or don't know how to protect themselves from, it's going to be a completely different story. That's where my advantage comes in. But there's nothing else I can do. Yeah, if they hit me back, I'll consider it again especially if it's before I move into that next phase. But if it's come 2026, especially in like February-ish, I've got some plans life-wise, spiritually, to just move on. If I've already moved on, I'm not going backwards. And I mean, I wouldn't go into it wholeheartedly. I would literally just go for I would go for a few fights to clean up my kung fu and then be out, more than likely. It is possible, but I just don't see it happening. So there you have it. And in case you don't know, when the Gracies started MMA, they had already been competing for many, many years as a family group and realized what and how people could beat them. They created a rule set that would protect their style because other people beat the Gracies. The Gracies aren't undefeated. There is not one undefeated Gracie. Look it up. Renzo's been defeated multiple times. I think he's insane and schizophrenic for going around telling people he's still undefeated. And Royce Gracie got beat by a long time ago by a BJJ guy, by somebody who was trained in his own style. I don't care if he was 50. People are going to expect me to get in the ring at like 50 and pushing in through my 40s. And it's like the guys that you guys think is like the greatest fighter in the world couldn't even pull that off. You know what I'm saying? So that's all we got. And he would have never had that title, man. If they didn't make those rules and cheat against Ken Shamrock in the first fight, everybody knows Ken Shamrock would have owned him. So it is what it is. He decided to play by their rules and he took a loss for it. So, but there you have it. I tried. I'm going deeper into the praying monk state since it looks like it's not my duty to be putting holes in people in the ring. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't enjoy it, I hope it was at least informative. But thank you for stopping by the Broken Buddha. Peace and blessings.